Here is what nobody who is teaching manifestation or law of attraction will tell you out loud. Gabriel, a professor of psychology at New York University, spent over 20 years studying one question: does positive visualization actually produce the outcomes people want? Her finding, published after studying thousands of participants across multiple countries, was this: people who visualized their desired outcomes in vivid detail were less motivated to pursue them, applied for fewer opportunities, and in one specific study, lost significantly less weight than those who did not visualize at all. 20 years, thousands of people, but the same results. Indulging in a positive fantasy, seeing the ideal life clearly in your mind, gives the brain a premature sense of arrival, and when the brain feels it has arrived, it stops generating the energy to actually get there. This is exactly why most of the techniques with law of attraction does not produce any long lasting change. Not because people are using it wrong, but the entire model is lacking something which is very fundamental. And that something was described with complete precision in the ancient Vedic texts thousands of years before this research, before The Secret, before every manifestation course that exists. Now, just to be clear, there are other studies and other research which even validates visualization, and it talks about the power of visualization. But all we are trying to understand here is that just daydreaming or just positive visualization alone will not make that true transformation possible that you are looking for. There is much more to reality than that. And there is a formula that we practice at Advaitha Conscious Society. There is an equation. This equation is the missing piece in law of attraction. And once you understand this, once you truly understand the four components of this equation and how they are structured, everything will fall into place. So make sure to tune in till the end, where we will cover the complete equation in this video. With that, let's come to the formula, the equation of conscious creation. The first part of the equation is a sankalpa. Sankalpa is not any desire, it is not any intention, it is a strong, heartfelt intention. The problem with people in general is that they are not even sure of what they actually want from life, what they actually want out of life, who they need to become, what are the outcomes, what are the things they would like to experience in life. And most of the goals that we have are conditioned by our parents, are conditioned by society, and are conditioned by the education system, and even our previous karmic patterns. So most things that we actually are looking for in life may not be in alignment with who we are. So that's why the first thing we do whenever somebody joins ACS is we help them to get very, very clear on this, on sankalpa, on what they actually want from life. Now, once you're clear, and to be clear, always ask the question why. If your mind says, I want something, I want that career, I want that income, ask it why. Why do you want it? Just check if it is coming from a deeper place of awareness and knowing, and it is coming from who you are, or whether it is just a conditioned goal which you ultimately don't resonate with. If it is just a goal, just a superficial goal, then obviously it's not strong, it's not deep enough. So you will not pursue it for long enough, and that's why most goals never get fulfilled. Not because they cannot be fulfilled, or not because you are not capable of it, but because you don't fully want it. All of the different aspects of your being are not in alignment with it. So first thing is that to be very, very clear, map out how your ideal life should look like in the four dimensions of wealth, health, relationships, and inner peace. Do a detailed analysis on yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your passions, the experiences you would like to have in the world. How would you like to contribute to the world? And then come up with this vision. That is your strong sankalpa, and just take an intention. With the universe, you can just close your eyes and just take a deep breath and state it out to the universe that this is my sankalpa, this is my intention. And that is the starting point that gives direction to that energy, to that consciousness. It gives direction to your life, and it begins the process of conscious creation. Then let's come to the second part of the equation, which is samarpana. After sankalpa comes samarpana, which is nothing but surrender. This is so powerful and so important that most of the Western manifestation and law of attraction teachings miss this completely. If you do not surrender, if you hold on to that vision, you're always coming from a place of lack, you're coming from a place of scarcity. You are missing the entire point of life. You're always wanting, and the energy of wanting yields more of that. That's why we say yad bhavam tad bhavati. Whatever you are feeling, whatever you're being, that is what you're creating. So immediately, once the sankalpa is clear, once you have taken that intention, the next thing is to surrender it. If you are a devotee, if you have an Adhvaitha, or if you are religious in any way, or if you worship God in any form, then the best thing to do is to surrender that intention to God. Now, that's what we do at our organization. That's what I do personally. I have a vision for our organization, which is my sankalpa, but I've completely let go of it to Narayana, to my God, my personal God, and that relieves me completely of this responsibility and this pressure. And not just that, surrender is a very, very powerful thing. It does a lot of things that is required for manifestation to actually happen. First of all, it removes fear. It removes fear completely out of the equation, and as long as fear is there, faith is not there, and fear is draining your energy, and it is draining the energy of manifestation. So as long as you're fearful on whether it happens or whether it does not, it will not happen. Next, it will also give you detachment. Right? When you detach yourself from the outcome, this is exactly what Krishna speaks of in Gita when he speaks about karma yoga. You get better clarity, better alignment, and you are in a much powerful place to take the right actions, to make the right decisions, to ultimately see that outcome. It's like a sportsman who's playing the game. His focus, his energy should be completely on what he's playing, where he is in the present moment, not on the scoreboard. Only then he will be successful in his game. That's how we need to understand karma yoga, and that happens through surrender. So that's the power of surrender. It does a lot of things internally for you, where you come to a place of fearlessness, where you accept even if that outcome doesn't happen, it's okay for me. That's a place of true power, right? You should be okay even if that outcome doesn't happen for you. And then comes the third part of the equation, which is removal of vikalpa. Many of you might have heard of the term sankalpa, but most of you would not have heard of vikalpa. Vikalpa is a counter intention. It's a limiting belief. It is draining the energy of sankalpa. If you are setting an intention, a sankalpa is in one direction, and if you are moving the energy in one direction through sankalpa, vikalpa is a counter intention, the counter energy which neutralizes sankalpa and which drains the energy of it. This is a major reason why things don't happen for a lot of people. There are so many limiting beliefs, there are so many things that we believe within ourselves, that we think, that are actually stopping us from manifesting those outcomes that we are looking for. On a sankalpa level, you might have set an intention of achieving financial freedom in the next 3 to 6 months, and take care of your family in the right way, contribute to society, and so on. But at a deeper level, at a subconscious level, at an unconscious level, if you have these counter intentions and vikalpas which are saying you are not worthy of it, or you need to work harder, or the economy is bad, and so on, then that never happens because you yourself are stopping yourself. Your beliefs are stopping your outcomes. So, making a clear audit of all the vikalpas, all the counter intentions that you might have, and then neutralizing them is a very powerful thing. But this is a little difficult to do on a conscious level because some of these are at an unconscious level. And we will come to a journey that you can join for this towards the end. And then comes the fourth part of the equation. Once you have removed the vikalpas, or at least as many vikalpas as possible, as many counter intentions as possible, then comes the fourth part of the equation. That is the embodiment of the ideal identity, the ideal swabhava. This is the version of you which need not try to live that life, which is already living that life. This is a complete highest expression of you, which is capable of living that ideal life, which is congruent with that, which has that energy, which has that confidence, which has all the things that are necessary to live that kind of life. Now, once these four parts of the equation sit in place, then your ideal life is a natural outcome. So the complete equation is this: Sankalpa, which is a strong heartfelt intention, which is deeply resonating to you and which is meaningful for you. It is the vision for your ideal life, which you have taken as a strong intention to live. Second is surrender. Once you take it, you surrender it, you let go of it. Third is removal of all vikalpas and counter intentions. And fourth, the embodiment of the ideal identity, which leads to your ideal life. Along with this formula, you should also remember the conscious creation mantra, that is Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati. Whatever your state of being is, whatever your mental and emotional state is, that is determining your life outcomes unconsciously.